cup is still warm on your side of the table. Steam fades slow like the things we don't say. Morning crawling through the cracks of the window, but night never really went away. Your chair hasn't moved since the day that you left me. Dust learns the shape of your name. I tried to wash all the lipstick off memories, but some stains don't fade. The clock keeps pretending that time can repair, but it just circles back to you not being there. As I'm drinking cold coffee alone, watching the daylight turn gray. Every sip tastes like goodbye that never finished its sentence that day. Your shadow still lives in this room. Even the silence has grown. I warmed it for two like before. Now it's just cold coffee alone. Your sweater still hangs on the back with the doorway soft like the nights we once knew. I press my face into threads of your absence, trying to breathe. What is you? Phone never rings, but I keep it beside me just in case ghosts learn to call. I memorize cracks in the ceiling above me, so I don't feel it all. The sun keeps on rising like nothing is changed, but it lights up the emptiness, calling your name. I'm drinking cold coffee alone, watching the daylight decay. Every swallow burns, going down like words that you never would say. A laugh that goes under my skin, where all the quiet has grown. I saved you a seat by the window. Now it's just cold coffee. The hallway is empty, the air doesn't move. Even hope feels too tired to pretend it's not true. I'm drinking cold coffee alone, the cup shaking soft in my hands, so oft disappeared hours ago, like all of our unfinished plans. Your name fogs the glass when I breathe, then fades before it is shown. I warmed it for love that won't come. Now it's just cold coffee alone. Still set the table for two. Still leave the light on for you. Cold coffee. mug is still there by the sink where you left it. Lipstick-free porcelain white. No trace of the mornings we used to begin with. Just silence cooled overnight. The sunlight arrives but it doesn't feel welcome. It spills across everything wrong. Dust settles gently on what we abandoned, like time moving on. I keep almost reaching, like you're still nearby, but my hand meets the space where your warmth used to lie. So empty mug on the counter feels heavier than it should, full of the words we never said and the love we misunderstood. I don't know why I still wash it as if you're coming back home. Dry it and place it beside mine, and drink in the quiet alone. Your jacket still smells like a winter that ended before we could thaw what went cold. I try to fold up the nights we kept breaking, but grief does increase when it's old. Phone lights up ghosts of your name and reflections, but nothing is ever from you. I talk to the walls just to hear something human and answer them too. The kettle keeps screaming into empty air, like it knows there's no one left standing there. Your empty mug on the counter, still waiting for hands that won't come, stained with the ring of our last goodbye, circling what we become. I made you coffee this morning, out of habit, not hope. Watch the steam disappear into nothing, like learning to cope. If I leave it untouched, maybe time will rewind. Maybe you'll walk through the doorway, apologizing for time, but the hallway stays quiet. The love never turns, even hope grows exhausted from hoping it hurts. Your empty mug on the counter, cold as the sign of the gate, holding the shape of your absence, like something that should have been said. I don't even drink from my own now, just hold it to feel less alone. Two cups growing colder together in a house that's no longer a home. I should put it away, but I don't know where you would go. Still waiting. quiet an hour ago, but I never poured the tea. Your chair still faces the window, like you might come back for me. The air smells faintly of mornings we promised we wouldn't outgrow. Now all of that warmth is just vapor with nowhere to go. I keep watching nothing rise into airlight. Maybe your ghost is still breathing there. As I watch the steam fade away, like everything we couldn't save, it curled toward the ceiling and vanished without leaving a trace. The heat disappeared from my hands before I could beg it to stay. Love turned to air in this room. I watch the steam fade away. Your voice still lingers in quiet, like echoes too tired to shout. I mouth all the words we avoided, but nothing comes out. The clock on the wall keeps insisting that life should be moving ahead, but time only circles a moment. You left what we said. I thought if I waited long enough here, this space you abandoned might slowly repair. I watched the steam fade away, carrying pieces of you. Every soft spiral dissolving, like promises we never renewed. The cup's still too hot to hold. We're colder with every breath I take. Unburdened and freezing at once, watching the steel fade away. If I close my eyes, I can almost pretend you're standing behind me, about to speak again. But the air never shifts and the silence won't break. Even hope grows transparent and slowly escapes. I watch the steam fade away. Now nothing is left but the chill, no trace of the warmth that was here, no proof we were ever real. My hands hover over the cup, like touching what used to remain. Love didn't shatter or scream, it just thinned up and became air I can't hold anymore, breath I can't get back to you. I'm sitting in yesterday's warmth, watching the steam fade from you. It was there just a moment ago, enough to believe in. Gone now, like you. The sugar's still sitting untouched on the table. right where you slid it to me. You always said life needed sweetness to soften the edges you couldn't unsee. Now every sip tastes like a memory breaking, sharp on the back of my tongue. I never knew coffee could turn into something this hard to outrun. I keep adding more, like it might repair, but the bitterness lingers, still heavy there. Everything's bitter without you, even the light in the room. Morning just feels like a bruise now, pressed where your warmth used to bloom. I try to sweeten the silence, but nothing dissolves what's true. Life doesn't taste like it used to. Everything's bitter without you. Your laugh used to melt all the spaces between us, like honey poured slow into cracks. Now every quiet grows louder and louder and never gives anything back. Your name sits unsaid in the center of breathing, a word I can't swallow or speak. I carry it folded beneath every heartbeat, growing more weak. I thought time would rinse all the ache from my chest, but it only dilutes it, never lets me rest. Everything's bitter without you, even the air that I take. Sweet things just turn into echoes of something I no longer make. I drink from the cup you once touched, as if it might carry you through, but love leaves a taste that won't fade. Everything's bitter without you. If I could forget, even just for a day, maybe the world would feel softer, less heavy to face. But the memory lingers, and everything's full in the warmth of a mug, in the hush of the hall. Everything's bitter without you, even the tears on my skin, salt on a wound that won't close, where your hands should have been. I don't even reach for the sugar, I know I can't undo. Some flavors stay long after love. Everything's bitter without you. I don't want it sweet anymore, I just want it back. Bitter without you. I poured it at dawn when the sky was still empty, 2 cups like we always would do. Yours by the window, mine close to the silence, still shaped like a morning with you. The steam rose up up slow, like you wanted to tell me one things don't promise to stay. I watched it disappear into nothing, then walked away. I thought if I waited, you might walk in late, apologize softly, like nothing had changed. Now the coffee turned cold on the table, just like the side of your bed. The warmth disappeared without warning, like all of the things left unsaid. I keep wrapping my hands around porcelain, trying to borrow the heat, but love doesn't linger in objects. It leaves and repeats. Your scroll still rests where you tapped it in circles, a rhythm I hear and I sleep. I trace the faint rain that your cup left behind, like something I'm trying to keep. Outside life keeps moving like nothing collapsed here. Cars pass like waves on a shore, but inside this room time is stubborn and won't move anymore. The light fills the corners you used to occupy. Now it just settles on things I won't reply. And the coffee turned cold while I waited for footsteps that never came near. Every minute another reminder that hope disappears into air. I try to convince my reflection you'd call just to say you were wrong, but silences learn how to echo and echo for long. If I drink it now, will it burn less than you? Will the bitterness fade or just carry you through? I hold it too long, like letting it go would admit that you're gone, and I already Now the coffee turned cold on a table, and I never took even one sip, afraid that the taste of tomorrow might break your memories slip. So I sip with the chill in my fingers, letting the quiet unfold. Love didn't shatter or leave me, it just slowly turned cold. It was warm a moment ago. Maybe that was just you. drifting through the curtains without you. Too bright for the shape of this room. Morning used to arrive like a promise. Now it just blooms into gloom. Your pillow still holds a hollow of breathing, a place where the night used to rest. I reach without thinking beside me, then remember the rest. The birds keep on singing like nothing is gone, but every new sunrise feels painfully wrong. Soft morning feels wrong without you, like waking inside of a dream. Everything looks like it used to, but nothing is what it should be. I pour 2 cups out of habit, then freeze when I notice the truth. Daylight keeps asking me gently, what happened to you? Your footsteps don't echo in hallways anymore. The floor doesn't quake in reply. Even the walls seem to listen for something and give up inside. Outside, the world carries on like a stranger, passing without seeing me. I stand at the sink with the water still running, just trying to breathe. I thought time would soften the edge of goodbye, but morning just sharpens the ache in my eyes. Morning feels wrong without you. Too quiet, too wide, too awake. Every small sound is a reminder of everything. Sirens can turn if I open the window for air, but it only brings emptiness through. The sun keeps insisting on shining for someone who isn't you. If I could fall back into sleep where you stay, maybe I wouldn't have to survive another day. But dreams always loosen their hold on my hand and drag me back here where I don't understand. Morning feels wrong without you, like color drained out of the sky. The world keeps beginning again, but won't tell me why. Most of the hours like water, no edges, no shape, just gone. Everyone says it gets easier, but morning still feels wrong. Night was the only place you still were. Day keeps taking you farther. Stay calm. The waitress still asks if I'm waiting for someone. I shake my head, try to smile. Manners feel heavier when there's no one to share them. Across the same empty aisle, your chair sits pulled in like you learned how to leave me. No trace of your hands on the wood. I trace little circles on condensation, like you used to, and words wouldn't come, but we understood. The room is so full, but I've never felt more alone. Every laugh in the distance sounds like a life I once owned. Table for one by the window, watching the night settle in. Two sets of silverware placed there, like hope hasn't learned where you've been. I keep glancing up at the doorway, as if you might suddenly show. But love doesn't hold back in quietly once it decides to go. Your favorite song plays too softly to stop it, but loud enough to undo me. I stir melted ice in a glass I'm not drinking, just to keep my hands busy. Couples lean close like the world can't touch them. I look anywhere but their eyes, even the candle between me and no one feels like it's trying to apologize. I'd practice the words I would say if you cave, but silence remembers there's no one to blame. Table for one, but they set it for two still, like someone forgot to erase the version of me that was laughing in this exact same place. Unfold your napkin without thinking and freeze it what I've just done. Some habits outlived the heart that made them. Now it's just table for one. If I leave a little space across from my chair, maybe absence won't feel so painfully there. But emptiness stretches, no matter how small a distance can grow. Until it is all. Table for one by the window, the candle has burned almost through. Wax pulling slow like the hours I once spent waiting for you. I don't even order dessert, bound sweet things just don't taste the same. I pay for the silence and leave with it, still carrying your name. They ask if I need anything else. I almost say you. used to sit where the window light softened edges of everything hard. Your fingers tracing the rim of your coffee, like reading the lines of your heart. The city moved fast, but it couldn't reach us. Inside that small world we made, two strangers becoming the future together. Between sips that slowly would fade, now every table looks like our past, full of beginnings that never will last. Love lives in cafes, I swear it, in quiet half-finished drinks, in hands brushing close on the table, and things no one else ever sees. But love doesn't stay where it started. It slips through the cracks in the day, leaving the chairs still facing each other long after one walks away. I pass by the door, but I never go in now, afraid of the ghosts that might be sitting in corners, pretending they're strangers, until they remember it's me. Your laugh still exists in the low cafe music, your shadow in glass as I pass. Somewhere inside there a couple is whispering words we once said in the past. I wonder if they feel time standing still, or if they already know that it will. Love lives in cafes, I swear, and sugar left scattered like snow, and eyes that don't look at the clock yet because they don't wanna go. But love doesn't leave with a warning, no sound when it quietly breaks, just empty coast cooling between people who don't know what it tastes. If I sat at our table again, would the air still remember your name? Would the chair pull itself out for you, or pretend we were never the same? Maybe love isn't gone at all. Maybe it's stuck in that room, waiting for two people who won't return to relive what they couldn't resume. Love lives in cafes, I swear it, but only for those passing through. It blooms in the safety of strangers, then withers the moment it's true. Now I walk by the glass and keep moving, like stopping would undo the years, because love still sits at that table. Sit there. Someone else is probably there now, laughing where we used to breathe. I stirred it slowly, like time would get kinder if I just kept going around. like crystals melting, like promises whispered, too quiet to make any sound. You always said life needed sweetness to balance the bitterness neither could name, but love left a taste that no sugar could cover or soften the pain. I kept adding more until it was thick, but the ache in my chest never learned how to quit. Sugar didn't help at all, didn't make missing you sweet, just turned every memory heavier, dissolving too slowly in me. I thought I could fix what was broken with something as small as a spoon, but love doesn't answer to sweetness once it decides to be through. Your chair still leans like it's tired of waiting for weight it remembers too well. I talk to the quiet like it might be human, and hear nothing back when I yell. The window reflects someone older and smaller than who I was holding. Your hand brief rearranges the face in the mirror into someone I don't understand. The cup keeps on cooling, no matter how tight I hold it for warmth through the length of the night. Sugar didn't help at all, didn't bring you back to me, just made every swallow feel hollow and harder to breathe. I left the spoon trembling inside it, like it might stir you awake, but nothing returns from the silence, no matter how long I wait. If sweetness could heal, I would drown it in now, fill every empty place until I forgot how. But the truth has a flavor that lingers too long. Some things stay bitter even after they're gone. Sugar didn't help at all, the cup is just cold in my hands. Every small comfort I reach for slips through like unfinished plans. I don't even try anymore to pretend I'm okay. Some my systems soften with time, they just settle and stay. You liked it sweet, remember, I still make it the same. Untouched again. The spoon keeps turning, though nothing is changing. Circles that led back to you No clouds, the surface like things left unspoken, blurring what once felt so true. Your name rises up in the quiet reflection and breaks when the ripples appear. I try not to look, but the past keeps returning whenever you're near. If I just stop moving, maybe you'll fade, but stillness remembers the shape that you made. I'm stirring memories tonight, watching them bleed into now. Sweetness and bitterness mixing. I don't remember how. Every slow circle pulls something up from the bottom I buried in vain. Love doesn't sink when it's over. It waits and rises again. Your voice hums low in the soundly kettle, a phantom of warmth in the room. I hold my breath, hoping silence will settle, but echoes resume. Outside, the streetlight flickers like breathing, faint but refusing to die, just like the pieces of us that keep living in corners of time. I thought if I drowned them in something warm, they wouldn't come back every night like a storm. I'm stirring memories again until the surface will clear, every reflection dissolving into the shape of you here. The cup trembles softly in my hands, like it remembers you too. Even the warmth feels uncertain, not knowing what to do. If I let it go still, would the past finally sleep? Or would silence just make every heartbeat too deep? Maybe forgetting is something we fake, because love leaves a residue. Nothing can take. I'm stirring memories too slow, afraid of what happens when they stop, because quiet is louder than anything. Once the last ripple drops, so I keep moving in circles long after the warmth is gone. Some nights surviving just means pretending you're not. Don't even want to remember. I just don't know how to forget. Still here, you left an sound like a door softly closing on everything we couldn't sell. The chair still angled the way that you pushed it back when you stood up to go. Nothing dramatic, no last words between us, just quiet I couldn't follow. The room hasn't shifted, the air feels the same, but something invisible took you away. Your cup still warm on the table, like you might walk back inside. The heat pressing faint through the porcelain, like something that hasn't died. I hold it to feel your presence, as if warmth would carry you home. But love doesn't live in the temperature. Once it decides to be gone. Your breath used to cloud up the glass in the winter, a soft little proof you were there. Now every surface stays painfully perfect, untouched by the shape of your hair. The clock on the wall keeps pretending it matters what minute or hour we're in, but time stopped the moment you turned from the doorway and didn't turn back again. I thought you were just stepping out for a while. I even kept waiting, still trying to smile. Your cup's still warm, but you're not here. The strangest kind of goodbye. No slammed doors, no broken pieces, just absence where you used to lie. I keep expecting a message, a sound in the hall, any clue, but silence is louder than anything when it's filled up with you. Its warm fades slowly. Maybe love does too. Maybe this is the moment it stops being you. I press my hands harder, like holding a flame, trying to burn into memory, something to blame. Your cup's almost cooled on the table. I waited too long to believe that people can leave without meaning to hurt or to even deceive. The last trace of heat disappears like the echo of words never spoken. Love didn't shatter this time, it just left something warm. just like the space you left. Still here. I chose the seat where the light barely reaches, back turned to most of the room, somewhere no one would notice me breaking or ask if I'm leaving too soon. Your name sits heavy behind all my breathing, a word I don't dare let escape. If I say it out loud it might shatter the fragile control I still fake. The world keeps on talking, and laughter and noise, but grief is a silence that swallows all voice. Soft, quiet corner tears falling slowly, so no one will see them appear. I learned how to cry without moving, so no one will know I'm still here. My hands folded tight in my lap, like holding what fell apart years ago. Some pains don't ask for attention, they just ache quietly low. The cup in front of me cools without touching, a prop for the time I must stay. Leaving too soon looks like weakness, but staying just hurts in a different way. Someone nearby says your name in a sentence, my heart trips over the sound. Funny how strangers can break you without even needing to. Now I blink and pretend it's just dust in my eyes, but salt never lies when it falls like this. Quiet corner tears keep on falling, soft as the end of a song. No thunder, no dramatic collapse, just knowing you're gone. I smile when the waiter comes closer, practice the version of me who isn't dissolving inside when nobody sees. If I breathe too deep, it might all spill out. All the nights I survived, all the love, all the doubt. So I stay very small in this safe little place where heartbreak can happen without leaving a trace. Quiet corner tears almost finished. I wipe them before they can show proof that I'm still learning to live with the weight I can't let go. Soon I'll stand up and walk out. 'cause screaming won't bring you back. No one noticed. That was the point. Still hurting quietly. Small cup, dark as the thoughts I'm avoiding, bitter before it begins. You used to laugh at the face that I made when the first taste sank in. We'd sit too close for the world to exist there, and knees touching under the table. Now even the chair across from me feels like something I'm no longer able to look at too long without breaking apart, because everything here still remembers your heart. This espresso heartbreak is burning, but only while it goes down. After the heat disappears, there's just bitterness left all around. No sugar, no milk, nothing softens the aftertaste clinging to me. Love was a shot I kept taking, not knowing how strong it would be. Your hand used to rest over mine without thinking, a weight that felt safe, not too much. Now even my own hands feel foreign, not used to the absence of touch. The barista calls out a name that's not yours, but my chest still reacts. Funny how hope doesn't learn from experience, so follow the facts. I came here to feel something besides the hollow that echoes inside. Espresso heartbreak still bitter, even when I try not to care. Strong enough to wake every memory, sleeping in the air. I drink it too fast just to finish, afraid if I linger I'll see how much of you still sits across from the ghost version of me. Five the cup half full, it might mean I can't let go. If I finish it all, it means I already know that some things don't fade, they just sharpen with time, like love concentrated into something unkind. Espresso heartbreak is faded, cold at the bottom now too. Proof that intensity passes, but emptiness stays when it's through. I trace the ring left on the table, a shadow of where it had been. Love didn't end in an explosion, it just stopped and caved in. You said it would wake me up, but I was already awake. like clouds pretending nothing below is dark. You used to draw little hearts with your finger, laughing at your own heart. Now it just sits there untouched and collapsing, shapes turning into a blur. I watch it sink like the version of us that I still prefer. I tell my soul softly, it's only a drink, but everything small is enough to unthink. Soft tears falling silent, mixing with milk and regret. Warmth on my lips, but it can't reach the ache in my chest. I wipe my face like it's nothing, like no one would understand how something so gentle can break you without using hands. The seat by the window still feels like a memory, pressed into wood and into skin. I hear your voice in the low cafe murmur, then realize it's just within. Outside the rain starts without any warning, blurring your world into gray. Funny how weather can mirror a feeling you can't explain away. I thought I was stronger than this kind of pain, but love leaves a softness that never grows hard again. Latte tears keep on falling, warm and suddenly cold, just like the way that you left me, quiet and careful. Watching it slowly dissolve. Some things don't need dramatic endings to quietly stop. If I breathe too deep, I might lose control. Just tired today, not breaking in public, in the softest way. Just quietly dried. You always said it tasted better slow. I couldn't finish this one. Still hurts softly. Took it too fast like I always would with you. Didn't wait for the heat to subside. You warn me in half-laughing whispers. Some things can hurt if you don't let them cool first. I tried, now the taste of you lingers in places time hasn't figured out yet. Every word feels too sharp on my tongue, like something I shouldn't have said. Silence is safer than risking your name. Some wounds keep aching if spoken again. Burnt tongue love still stinging every time I try to speak. Your memory flares up in places that never had time to heal deep. I swallow the words I would give you, let them dissolve into ache. Some feelings are too hot to hold, but too human to break. I stopped drinking things that remind me of warmth that I no longer trust. Even soft sweetness feels dangerous now, like comfort might turn into dust. Your laugh used to live in my bloodstream, a spark I couldn't ignore. Now even my heartbeat feels cautious, not wanting to hurt anymore. I thought love would fade into something benign, but pain leaves a map on the inside. Burnt tongue love still tender, even when nothing is there. Every small taste of tomorrow brings yesterday back to the air. I sip life in careful fractions, afraid of what rushing might do. And scars don't show on the surface, but everything tastes like you. If I could go back, I might still choose the pine, because numbness is colder and emptier than flame. At least when it burned, I knew I was alive. Now everything's safe, just feels like survive. Burnt tongue love almost faded, and not enough to forget. Just a ghost of a heat I once carried under layers of regret. I don't say your name anymore, not because I don't want to. I do, but some words still hurt in the most, long after they're through. It doesn't hurt as much now, just enough to remember. Still warm somewhere. You trace little letters across the foam surface, laughing at how they would fade. I said that nothing so fragile could matter. You said some things still stay. Now I'm alone with a cup going silent, milk clouds collapsing inside. watching the shapes disappear one by one, like the night that you left without trying to fight. I didn't believe something so small could carry the weight of losing it all. Phone spelled goodbye without warning. Before I could ask it to stay, your name turned into a blur, then quietly drifted away. I tried not to breathe too hard near it, afraid I would speed up the end. But love doesn't wait for permission to stop and pretend. Chair still holds the angle you left it, like time never moved it at all. The table remembers the pressure, elbows and hands reaching over the wall. Someone outside laughs too brightly for morning. The sound cuts straight through my chest. Funny how joy can feel like an echo of something I lost and suppressed. I thought I could sit here until it felt safe, but memory sharpens with nothing to break. Phone spelled goodbye without meaning, just gravity pulling it down. No thunder, no dramatic unraveling, just silence replacing the sound. I sip what is left, but it's colder than anything we used to share. Some endings don't feel like endings, they just leave you there. If I could rewind to the start of that day, would I notice the signs or still look away? Maybe love whispers softly before it departs, leaving clues in the smallest unguarded parts. Phone stuff goodbye and I missed it, too busy believing in us. Now the remains is a surface that no longer carries your touch. I leave the cup half full behind me, like proof that I couldn't complete the moment our story went silent. Between heartbeats, it was there for a second. I should have looked closer. Goodbye already. The bell on the door sounds exactly the same, but no one is turning to smile. Your shadow used to arrive just before you and wait in the light for a while. I chose our table by force of habit, even though part of me knew some places don't change when love disappears. They just echo you. The chair across from me looks almost wrong, like something essential is suddenly gone. This cafe without you feels louder. Even the silence has weight. Every small sound is a reminder of how long I waited. 2 cups placed down automatically before I can stop what I do. Habit remembers the future I once had with you. Couples lean close like the world doesn't touch them. Time moving soft in their hands. I look at the window instead of their faces, pretending I understand. Your laugh used to live in the low cafe music, hidden between every note. Now every familiar detail feels sharper, like something caught in my throat. I tell myself gently, this is just space, but absence has edges I can't erase. Cafe without you is colder, even though summer is here. Warmth used to follow your breathing, now it just disappears. I sip something sweet, but it isn't doing what sweetness should do. I've changed the taste of the world, now everything tastes like you. If I stop coming here, will you fade too? Or memory follow whatever I do? Maybe love isn't in places or objects or air. Maybe it's just the space where you were and aren't there. Cafe without you feels endless, like time stretching thin in my chest. I sit until closing, just listening to nothing that sounds like us love. The lights dim, but no one asks why. I haven't moved for hours now. Some goodbyes don't arrive as a moment, they just happen somehow. Someone else will sit here tomorrow. I came here early, like time might reward me for wanting you more than sleep. Ordered the same thing you always would order, 2 cups I don't even need. The chair across from me waits without asking why no one is filling its space. Hope is a quiet, persistent illusion you can't easily erase. Every time the door moves, my heart does too. But strangers keep walking in instead of you. So I'm waiting with coffee gone cold watching the minutes turn gray. Steam disappeared hours ago, but I still haven't walked away. Maybe if I stay long enough, you'll remember the promise you made. Or maybe I'm just learning slowly how hope starts to fade. Your name lights my phone in reflections that lie, just strangers' alerts, nothing real. I turn it face down so the silence feels honest, instead of something to feel. Outside the day grows impatient with me. Shadows stretch thin on the floor. Even the sunlight is trying to tell me you're not coming anymore. I rehearse what I'd say if you appeared, but words don't survive the shape of its fear. Still weak with coffee untouched now, bitter from sitting too long. Love tastes different when you realize the person you're waiting for is gone. I trace the wet ring on the table, a circle that never will close. Some goodbyes don't arrive as a moment, they just don't show. If I leave right now, will it finally be true that this empty sea wasn't saving a place for you? Maybe staying hurts more, but leaving feels worse, because walking away means admitting the curse. Still wait with coffee that cold now, no warmth left to pretend. The last little thread of belief unraveling without an end. I scan, but my body feels heavier. My grief has learned how to weigh. Some people don't break your heart loudly, they just don't come back one day. I'll wait a little longer, just in case. Still here, still here. until nothing was left to protect us. Words thinning out into air. Your fingers kept turning the cup in slow circles, like something inside you was scared. I didn't notice the distance growing across such a small little space. Two people sitting inches apart, with oceans replacing the place. You said you were tired, but didn't say why. I nodded like silence was easier than goodbye. The last sip was us disappearing, warmth turning suddenly thin. The moment between almost speaking and letting the quiet win. I tasted the end on your lips before I knew what it was. Love didn't break with a sound, it just stopped being us. The cup made a hollow, unfinished sound when you set it down too soon. Your eye found the window instead of my face, like you needed another room. I wanted to reach, but my hands felt too heavy, afraid of what touching might prove. Sometimes you feel someone leaving before they even move. You stood without anger, without looking back. The door closed so softly, didn't even crack. That last sip was colder than winter, even though summer was there. Everything tasted like something already missing from there. I stayed long after you left, as if time might undo what was done. But some endings happen quietly and still weigh a ton. If I had spoken, would anything change? Or was love already too fragile to name? Maybe the ending began long before that day, and the last sip was just where it found a way. The last sip was all that remained of something too tender to say, a ghost of the warmth we once carried, now barely a trace. I hold the empty cup to my chest, like it might give something back. But love doesn't live in the hollow of what we still are. I didn't even know it was the last time. If I had, I would've. Come. The bed feels too large for a morning this quiet. Your side still dipped in the sheets. I move like a guest in a house I remember. Bare feet avoiding the bricks. I'll make it the way that you always preferred it. 2 spoons and 1 more for luck. Habit keeps reaching for someone beside me. My hands coming back empty, stuck. The kettle keeps screaming into the air like it doesn't know you're not there. This coffee after love tastes different. Not bitter, not sweet, just gone. Like something essential is missing, but you can't explain what's wrong. Warm in my hands, cold in my chest. Steam rising up and dissolving above. Morning begins without warning. After love, your toothbrush still leans like it's waiting politely for someone who forgot to return. Tiny abandoned domestic details are louder than grief when they burn. The sunlight keeps touching the places you used to sit half awake and half mine. Now it just settles on objects and surfaces, not on a life intertwined. I thought I would shatter, fall apart aloud, but heartbreak is quiet once you're loud. Coffee after love is hollow, like drinking the shape of a ghost. Every small swallow reminds me of everything we almost. I sit at the edge of the table, afraid of the space it will prove. How much of a life can vanish without even needing to move? If I leave the cup untouched, does time pause too? Does the world weak politely for me to catch you? Or does life keep unfolding, indifferent and wide? One stuck in the doorway, walked out or inside. Coffee after love is cooling. I don't even try to reheat. Some wife can't be borrowed back, no matter how tightly you grip. I drink it because not drinking feels like admitting it's true. There's a morning that happens without you. It still smells like yesterday, but yesterday's gone. Still neon is humming like something exhausted, bleeding through rain on the glass. Chairs are all stacked, but they let me stay longer, as long as I don't ask. The clock on the wall keeps repeating the hour, like time doesn't want to move on. I've memorized cracks in the ceiling above me since you've been gone. Coffee can't touch this kind of awake. Sleep doesn't come when memory Sleepless Café, lights flicker slowly. Night doesn't know where to end. Every dark window reflects back a stranger who looks like she's waiting again. I close my eyes, but you're louder than anything out on the street. Love leaves a pulse in your chest that refuses defeat. The barista moves like she's walking through water, gentle, careful, half kind. She doesn't ask why I keep ordering nothing, just wiping the table each time. Your name sits heavy at the edge of my breathing, a word I don't dare to release. If I let it slip into air, it might never find peace. I thought exhaustion would finally win, but missing you outlasts my skin. Sleepless Cafe, nearly morning, but night still clings to my bones. Even the silence feels crowded with echoes of you. I've grown. I try to count all the reasons that leaving was something you had to do, but logic dissolves in the darkness when all I can feel is you. If dawn finally comes, will it carry relief, or just make the absence more painfully brief? Some wounds wake up with you, no matter how deep, because heartbreak doesn't sleep, it just watches you sleep. Sleepless Cafe, morning arriving, gray light replacing the blue. I stay through the night, hoping somehow darkness would bring back you. The door unlocks for the day shift, life starting over outside, but some nights never really end. They just fade into light. I should go home, but home is where you are. Still awake, still. I pulled it out slowly, like you might be late, like traffic or rain held you back. Set down 2 cups without thinking at all, and froze when I saw the extra one intact. The wood still remembers the weight of your presence, a faint little dent in the grain. Funny how objects keep telling the truth, even when I try to pretend. Every small habit refuses to end. My heart keeps expecting you're walking again. empty chair again beside me, facing a life we once knew. I talk without meaning to sometimes, as if I'm still talking to you. Silence leans back in your place, comfortable, patient and thin. Some ghosts don't need haunting to stay, they just sit quietly in. Someone nearby laughs too loudly for morning. It snaps something loose in my chest. Joy feels aggressive when you're barely holding what's left of yourself together at best. I slide your side closer to mine without thinking, afraid of the distance it shows. But emptiness stretches no matter how small the space that it grows. I thought it would hurt less with time passing through, but absence keeps learning new ways to be you. Empty chair again across from me, watching me try not to break every familiar detail, reminding how much a person can take. I reach for a voice that wanted warmth that refuses to stay. Some goodbyes don't end in a moment, they repeat every day. If I stopped coming here, would it finally fade, or would memory follow every step that I take? Maybe the chair isn't empty, maybe it's full of what was, a quiet container for something too fragile to pause. Empty chair again this evening, lights dimming one by one. I wait until closing might somehow stay. It means you're not gone. I leave it pushed out from the table like proof I believed you might come. Some people don't leave all at once, they leave and keep leaving and leaving until there's just none. I'll sit here tomorrow too, just in case.